What if I told you there is a hole in space so massive you could line up 15 entire Milky Way galaxies across it and still not reach the other side? That is not science fiction. That is what astronomers actually found hiding in a cluster of galaxies 390 million light-years away. Something punched a cavity 1.5 million light-years wide through scorching hot gas. And the culprit? A supermassive black hole is throwing the single most powerful tantrum the universe has ever seen. This is the biggest explosion ever recorded, and for years, scientists refused to believe it was even possible. In 2016, a team led by astronomer Norbert Werner was studying X-ray images from NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory. They were looking at the Ophiuchus galaxy cluster, a colossal structure containing thousands of galaxies, dark matter, and superheated gas so hot it glows in X-rays. Buried in that data, they spotted something weird, a sharp, curved edge in the gas, like someone had scooped out a chunk of it. They considered that a black hole jet might have carved it out, but when they ran the energy calculations, the numbers were too extreme. They essentially said, "No way, that cannot be real," and they moved on. But Dr. Simona Giacintuxi at the U.S. Naval Research Laboratory was not ready to let it go. Her team attacked the problem from a different angle, literally. Instead of just X-rays, they pulled in radio telescope data from the Murchison Widefield Array in Australia and the Giant Metrewave Radio Telescope in India. What they found was the smoking gun. A massive cloud of radio wave-emitting particles sits right inside that mysterious curved edge. The radio data matched the X-ray cavity with uncanny precision. That was the confirmation. This was not some random gas movement. A black hole had detonated with unimaginable force. So how powerful are we talking? The energy released was roughly 5 times greater than the previous record-holding explosion, an eruption in a galaxy cluster called MS0735. And it was hundreds of thousands of times more energetic than what astronomers typically see in galaxy clusters. The total energy clocked in at around 5 times 10 to the 54th joules. For perspective, all of humanity's energy consumption in an entire year is about 6 times 10 to the 20th joules. We are not even in the same zip code. Here is how it happened. The supermassive black hole at the center of Ophiuchus was pulling in surrounding matter, gas, dust, maybe even an entire galaxy's worth of material. That matter spiraled inward, forming a blisteringly hot accretion disk. But not everything fell in. Some got redirected and launched outward as jets traveling close to the speed of light. Those jets drilled through the intergalactic gas and blew open this enormous bubble, filling it with high-energy particles. Then, at some point, the fuel supply shifted away from the black hole, likely from gas sloshing around inside the cluster, and the jets shut off. What remains now is a fossil, a giant radio ghost from an explosion that happened a few 100 million years ago, slowly fading at higher frequencies, but still visible at lower ones. And here is the part that keeps astrophysicists up at night. Galaxy clusters like Ophiuchus are the largest gravity-bound structures in the universe. Scientists have long assumed gravity alone dominates how these clusters behave. But this explosion dumped so much energy into the system that it actually matters for the cluster's overall energy budget. If eruptions this extreme are happening in other clusters too, it could force a major rethink of how we model these enormous structures and how we use them to study the universe at large. This discovery came from combining 4 different telescopes across X-ray, radio, and infrared wavelengths. Sometimes the universe hides its biggest secrets in plain sight, and you just need the right set of eyes to find them. If you want more news about the universe doing things that seem physically impossible, hit subscribe and drop a comment.